I would like to thank my mom for giving me the courage to speak about this today. I told her it's scary being that vulnerable because people can be cruel, and she told me, Lana, the cruel folks are a handful, but the number of people you could be helping are, well, a number so large you can't comprehend. I hope she's right, so here goes nothing. Early last year, I lost my grandmother, whom I'd grown up with since I was 4. It changed my life. When you're a kid, it seems like life just goes on and on forever. Death may be something you hear about, but you can't quite grasp what it even means. Being a little kid and naive, I thought my grandmother and I would be building forts together for infinity. Actually, you don't even understand death as an adult until it happens to you, someone you love, until you're by their side, holding their hand as they slowly fade into something you can't comprehend. That moment stays with you forever and it changes you. Suddenly, your own mortality becomes very real. Cliches like, tomorrow isn't promised and life is short, are no longer quotes that you share on Twitter just because they sound true. They get a whole different meaning. A life, Jimmy. You know what that is? It's the shit that happens while you're waiting for moments that never come. That's from the show The Wire. While I'm all for thinking things through and weighing the benefits against the downsides, the risk against the reward, I also know it's a slippery slope and how it can lead to freezing in inaction, where your whole life starts to feel like a waiting game. The right circumstances, the right time, the right place, the right thing to say, to do. I like to call it the brick collector syndrome. It's when you do research, read, prepare, or worse, just think about the thing that you want or need in your life. All of that being the bricks, but you're not building anything. Kind of like how I had been collecting bricks for years before I got the wake-up call I needed and finally got myself a puppy, and he's one of the best things that's happened to me. And had it not been for the situation that I was in, I would still be waiting. That's what we often do. We wait and we wait and we wait. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans, as the saying goes. We're promised one thing in life, and that's the present moment, and therefore, anytime we say tomorrow or next week, next year, or in 10 years, we're gambling with time. The message here isn't to live every day like it's your last. In fact, I can't stand that saying. What I am saying though is, don't live like you have an unlimited amount of days left, because you don't. Like I said, loss changes you, but how? I'm still trying to figure that one out, which is why I'm writing this. What I know though is that our time is limited, and I aspire to spend most of that time in peace and joy with the people I care about, and not in conflict and resentment. And I would like to believe I've been making a conscious effort to live by that. By not making a fuss about the small stuff, by apologizing more often, by not staying upset for too long. I'm still human and sometimes my emotions get the best of me, and that's okay, but to feel something and to act on that feeling are two different things. React when it matters, don't when it doesn't, and learn the difference. That's my mantra. No one lays on their deathbed thinking, those silly arguments were totally worth it. As time has passed, I've come to the realization that time doesn't heal. It just makes you think about the thing that happened less frequently, and you may start to associate less negative emotion with that event. I believe this is true for all sorts of loss, like breaking up or getting your house destroyed by a natural disaster. Grief changes shape, but it never ends, said Keanu Reeves, and I don't think I could have worded it any better myself. You continue to live on, but life is never the same. Doesn't mean you can't be happy again. You can, just happy in a different way because you're different. The initial time following loss feels like uncontrollable bleeding, which means you can't think of anything else because, well, there is freaking blood everywhere. With enough time, it turns into a scab and lastly into a scar, and while that scar will forever remind you of a time you sometimes wish you could forget, it's also a testament to love. The love you had for that person, the love they had for you, and the love you shared. Grief is the price we pay for love, said Queen Elizabeth II. Love, that little bitch. I think we've all thought to ourselves after experiencing loss, perhaps just for a split second, that we wish we'd never met that person and that we wished we weren't capable of love. Wouldn't that be lucky? That way you would never have to feel the pain of loss, because one of the saddest truths about life is that every single thing that we love will eventually end in grief. As Harry said in The Order of the Phoenix, I don't want to play anymore. All it does is make you care too much, and the more you care, the more you have to lose. It took me a moment to realize that being sad and living a sad life are two completely different things. Voldemort embodies the latter, and I haven't met anyone who said they would like to trade lives with him. I'll continue to love, obviously. I couldn't not, even if I tried. And those scars are what makes life worth living, in a way, I guess.